Sumo sushi. Hi! Okay, so this particular vlog is more of me looking for opinions. This is going to be sort of a personal nature. I haven't decided just what on the news I'm going to be taking apart and asking on some of my future broadcasts. But let me give you a little insight about me. I'm a gamer. Yeah, that's either going to get me flooded or going to get me ignored, one of the two, but I'm a gamer. I am only wearing this hat at the time because I was using the overhead light. The hat has nothing to do with me being a gamer, it just kind of made me look goofy. I've got the door cracked, but it's going to be bright. But it's snowing and it's goddamn cold outside, so I'm going to be using this as much natural light as I can, so it's not a huge glare, but about, I guess 4 years ago now, my roommates, who I live with now, introduced me into what is known as e-fedding. That is lowercase e, capital F-E-D, e-fed. E-fed is online role players who choose to do so through a post-based community in relative terms of using created, custom-made, imaginative wrestling characters. Yes, the Once Upon a Blue Moon I was a wrestling fan too, but needless to say, to cut that story real short, the writer started smoking too much crack and then I could no longer stomach it, so I'm no longer a wrestling fan. But I did enjoy the writing of my e-fed character. I had a number of popular ones, and when I started, it was for one of the particular feds that no longer exists now. The last one I was involved in was Elite, Ring of the Pure, and FHT, F in Hardcore Territory. And back in '07, whenever I was still actively e-fedding, the two sites merged. All of the owners and administrators came together and basically made a collective e-fed, just everybody under one roof, since we were actually pulling an invasion of sorts. FHT guys would come over, Elite guys would go over, kind of sort of, making things interesting. I burned myself out. I don't know, maybe it was because of the fact that I actually did too much writing. Not only did we write our own matches, but I also wrote segment pieces to actually make the actual post and thread, make it seem like it's better flowing. I would do a lot of small bits and pieces. I was vaulted to the level of global administrator, which really means nothing in the grand scheme of things. But I was given a certain number of extra privileges, which included the ability to write matches for people if they couldn't decide on their own. But basically, I burned myself out. And in the very early part of last year, '08, we meaning me and my roommates, we tried to create our own fed. It didn't last too long because we only had about 6 people. The merge company, well, the merge site anyway, it's not a real company, but the merge site actually has close to 30 people active and over 200 that are basically on the site. Burning myself out meant I just had to stop. I stopped. I just called it quits. I told everybody, I said, hey, I need time away. This isn't going to be like a month-long hiatus like some of you guys take. I just need time away. 2 days ago, in my email, since apparently they haven't done site restructuring, I received an invite from both companies. Not personal. It was a blanketed email, but it got me thinking again. In role-playing, I am what's known as an ST, a storyteller, for D10 system, a DM, Dungeon Master, for the D20 D&D system, and a GM, a Game Master, for the D20 Star Wars system. Needless to say, I don't do all, but I do quite a bit of this storytelling, of this controlling the game, of making up storylines to give to my players. And I do it happily. for my roommates, myself. I haven't gamed online in a couple of years, but I was doing it then too. I do a lot of creative writing, if I'm the only one that actually thinks it. But I used to be a fanfic writer a long time ago for Tenchi Muyo, which is an anime. I know, overweight guy, going bald, goatee, American, living in Canada. I'm not an otaku, I am not a fanboy, and I am not a role-playing lost cause. It's just I enjoy the things. I did do a number of fanfics back then, which included basically writing a story, mostly from scratch. I do enjoy the writing, and the people from FHT and from Elite did enjoy me having there, or at least I think I did, and a number of them, still credit me for a number of things. I was just wondering, if I gave pros and cons, could someone, I don't know, throw an opinion, maybe even a blind opinion? The pros are, I sort of miss it. I sort of do, to be honest with you. I didn't want to quit it, but my brain couldn't handle it. I was getting, warm jello up there as if it isn't already. A con is, it does take a degree of dedication. You have to show up, you have to write your matches, you have to post segments or promotions, promos, which accredit who's going to be winning the match. A pro would be that it gets me back around that community. I really, I enjoyed being around those guys. Yes, it is male-dominated, but that doesn't mean anything. We have had other, women in the world sign on to that site and actually go with their own characters. For all I know, they're all women. A con would be that I do, like I said, a lot, but not all, of the STing, DMing, and GMing for my players, which means I'd have to go ahead and resplit my concentration again, to a degree anyway. I don't know. It's kind of like finding an old habit and just remembering that it's not. It's basically just a habit, not a vice. Just something that was nice. You tell yourself, "Oh, I'm gonna fast. No more sodas." I got a friend on Facebook who actually said, "No more soda for me." I said I couldn't do it. If I don't, I don't know, call it addiction if you want, but if I don't actually have a real Coke every now and then, I start to go a little batty. It was just me, but I hadn't thought about even logging onto the site in almost 2 years. Well, going on 2 years anyway. And just getting that email kind of made me stop, and looking through my bookmarks on my Firefox kind of made me stop and pause at both of the sites. And then the joint site, I don't know. Anyway, that's enough about me rambling. What do y'all think? If you were a part of a writing community and hadn't done so for a long time simply because you were burned out in your personal life, you didn't mind doing it, it's just you didn't have the time, well, maybe I got a little time now, here or there. I don't know, if you were in my situation, what would you do? Box down there for posting, box over there for subscribing. Anyway, just me ranting, me actually making a personal video as opposed to a response. But anyway, hate it, rate it, whatever. Do what you gotta do. Y'all take it easy.